Hello and welcome to round one with Jason Chung's Dredge deck. Uh, as Jason said in the article he published about the deck, you're supposed to mulligan hands that don't have a way to start up dredging. In this case, we have double Faithless Looting, which is great. If I start off dredging, I mean start dumping things in the graveyard. Double looting with no dredge outlet's fine because we're mitigating the card disadvantage of Squee. We've got a Pharaoh. This is perfect. So, ooh, Lantern. I don't actually know how this matchup goes. Pretty sure I want to get. Let's think about this. Probably green red. So I want access to Loam in the near future. I don't really care about casting my black cards here. My end game is going to be, well, I definitely want to put Bloodghast in the graveyard, and I think Squee Bloodghast. And not dredging. I'm going to Looting again to lead and then play a fetch to landfall Bloodghast if I hit another. So my end game here is going to be double Conflagrate. The problem card is going to be Surgical Extraction. If that hits Conflagrate, I don't think I can win this game. That involves me knowing this deck a lot better, I think, if I have to do any kind of crazy math here. Let's pull up a deck list if we can do some nonsense here. So, if a bridge lands, what's Necroplasm do? Each creature, making sure it's not each non-land permanent because who knows. Can't. Yeah, so we're just dead if Conflagrate gets extracted. I can't. That doesn't really. Yeah. Okay. Well, what did our opponent reveal? Nothing? Really? Just nothing. I want to pull up the chat and figure this out real fast. Their comment was, "Well, that was brutal." Yeah, not sure how that happens. Um, so let's draw our card. Loam, not really what I want to fire off into this graveyard. I do want to Looting again just to get a little deeper into some action. Um, I could go aggro Ghost Quarter Lock. Just like attack mana here. I don't. I think with the Loam, I'm not too scared of going. Mm, yeah, I think I just want to discard Squee Pharaoh, play a Ghost Quarter, and just honestly just main phase fire it at the Glimmer Void. Try and KO my opponent's mana as fast as possible. um, Next Ghost Quarter target. So the plan is Ghost Quarter next turn, loan back 2 Ghost Quarters. Just Ghost Quarter forever. Well, that's a card. So I'm now in a spot where, yeah, sure, you can take Loam. Don't really care about that. Sadly, I'm 1 card off of having to discard a Dredge card. What just, or 2, I guess, because the Inquisition. Sure, that's fine. What if I, what if I Loam this turn? I get back 2 things. That does mitigate a Surgical on Ghost Quarter a little bit. I'm okay with that. I do want that. My opponent is going to be digging via the Lantern lock to a maybe. So my options are there's a lot of nonsense going on with Lantern. So I can leave up the Ghost Quarter to force my opponent to reshuffle if they reveal a bridge. Um, I actually like that, cold decking my opponent effectively. I don't care if my opponent draws the land here because they're not doing anything with their mana. Like this untapped Mox Opal really implies that they've got nothing going on. Don't care about another Lantern. That's not a relevant Magic card. I'm just Lantern locking my opponent out. How's that sound? The Zombie Infest should probably get milled. Yeah, sure. Grave Troll. Not. Don't really care about that card. So the question is, do I expose my double Ghost Quarter to... I don't care about the Lantern. So I can either... So I want a Verdant Catacombs here. Probably for... Not basic swamp. My life total doesn't matter. The question is, if I Ghost Quarter and then Loam, if I do that and I get Surgical, I'm in a pretty bad spot. Or if I do it in the other order, I guess Surgical is going to wreck me in the long... I guess... Yeah... Surgical's probably an issue in the long game anyways. But I don't think I need both Ghost Quarters up because I'm playing for the Lantern Lock my opponent plan. I want to get the second green so I can't get Ghost Quartered off green. I think that just minimizing the impact of a potential Surgical here is a big deal. I can also now cast Brown Scale, get in some super medium beats. So I discard Grave Troll for sure. My opponent doesn't have access to a second colorless mana, so Wreckage is not a concern. Yeah, you don't get to do that. How about I say no? I would prefer to continue Ghost Quartering you if possible. Okay. Well, I tried and it failed. Um, Academy Runes gets back nothing. So my plan is now just deliver as much beatdowns as I can in the time that I have. Loam doesn't really help me. I'm going to be casting Golgari Brown Scale here. So I want to dredge Grave Troll for maximum stuff. Is that... Uh, yeah, let's get back Grave Troll. What did I hit? I got a Conflagrate and a Squee, a Dark Blast. Do I want to just aggro dump a ton of cards into my graveyard? Probably just want to play Brown Scale here. I don't think my opponent's getting anywhere next turn. I don't think dumping cards really does what I want it to either. What lands do I have in graveyard? None. So I want to fetch another red. I don't think it matters which of these I use. I'm not fetching basics ever with this matchup. I guess this is worth 2 damage next turn. And the other option is that I could have Faithless Looting, discarded Squee to end up plus a card in hand on my opponent's next turn, which is worth plus a damage next turn. Opponent didn't draw that other lantern, right? Okay. Is this surgical on Conflagrate? Oh, Abrupt Decay, Golgari, Brown Scale. A plus. Good effort. I see. There's 2 Academy Runes in that deck usually. Nope. Well, Mox Opal's not the card you want. So I go to 7, 8, not lethal. If I hit, yeah, sure. uh, what? Oh, they chose the opal. Oh, they're drawing this next turn, and they're trying to empty their hand. Okay, there we go. I was confused as to where that was. So, draw squee for upkeep. Yes, I would. Draw loam for turn. Second Conflagrate is nice. I have enough targets for that. So I just go... My plan here is literally just to... I don't even know what the issue would be. I think I just want to throw my hand at my opponent here. So I'm drawing another Conflagrate. And by drawing, I mean... I have 9 cards. 9... This like forces my opponent to crack Lantern 2 to get rid of the other Conflagrate. I don't want any of these cards in my hand to begin with. Yeah, this is fine. And now we just get to play the game of me drawing, you know, X cards, a million cards per turn. Do I find a Conflagrate before my opponent can dig their way to something? The answer is most likely yes. I draw 6 off the Graveful next turn. By draw, I mean put cards in the graveyard for Conflagrate. My opponent's also forced to sack Lantern to not die here. They have to sack Lantern, draw the bridge. Is that each player shuffles or target? I always forget. Because the card just flips down. So yeah. They are supposed to draw bridge, see their next card, make a decision about what they do, sack Lantern, target with the Shredder. They might want to shred themselves to get out of the way to get another draw step. Yeah, they targeted me with that, I'm assuming. And then... Oh, they targeted themselves? Yeah, they're supposed to shuffle my card back in. And then draw their bridge. I would have drawn... Well, let's count the Conflagrate as... I don't know. It's hard to tell because everything gets shuffled and it's all imaginary anyways. So, let's see. Crime, not very good. Kill Enchantments, not relevant. Ancient Grudge, very good. I don't really like the idea of Thought Seizing. Dark Blast is just trash here, and they are all going out. Memory's Journey, in theory... Well, Deadly Allure does nothing. Vengeful Pharaoh also does not do a lot. I don't mind Thought Seizing my opponent here. Let's think about the cards that typically get boarded out in this deck. I guess Jason posted, you know, a 5-deck sideboard plan because there's 5 decks in the format. Necroplasm's a card, I guess. It has Dredge. I don't really want to board out too many cards with Dredge. I guess kind of want... So, not coming out, not coming out, not coming out. It's basically like I have to board out a card without Dredge if I want to do anything. and it would be for a Dark Blast. I don't really care. Like, my opponent gets to the point where they're Academy Runesing stuff, I'm not going to be winning the game anyways. Um, I guess this counters Surgical in like some weird, convoluted, magical mystery world, but so does Thoughtseize. I'm just going to submit this. Don't want a Raven's Crime. Yeah. Well, this is zombie infestation, so I feel obligated to keep. I guess I have a dredger and zombie. What am I even thinking that I want more of it than this nonsense? So I go black red. This. Yeah. Okay. This looks good to me. Hope I don't die. I guess there's also the part where I'm supposed to just board in Thoughtseize in the dark against unknown graveyard hate. The lantern usually has like a cage and maybe a spell bomb. So I draw a bonus irrelevant card. Um, I do want to access that blood gas, so lantern info pays off. I don't play the mire here. Play the forest? I don't. Not a huge fan. I think I still play the mire. Um, because my opponent wants to play a needle and force me to crack the mire. I don't really care. So they drew a Glimmer Void. Yep. I think that actually wants to fetch black green, so I have double green, so I can't get Ghost Quartered off a Flashback Grudge. My opponent's going to reveal Bridge at the least. Welding Jar. So they already have a bridge and they're saving it. Sure, whatever. I don't care about this. Sure, still don't really care. I feel like I don't want to draw Bloodghast anymore, though. Because that really only that doesn't even add damage to my clock against an incoming bridge. So let's shuffle that out of the way. Get Overgrown Tomb. Ooh, getting a little punished for that, but this isn't really like a miserable, horrible situation. Extend the Ghost Quarter, I guess. In theory, I can set up some stuff here. Play the Infest. At the least, I'm discarding Souls, Squee, and then I think Loam Infest, too. So they have Wreckage, Bridge that I know about. Bridge is just assumed at this point. So they didn't play Wreckage, so they have... Yeah, sure. 2 in hand. Yeah, Dredging Loam seems significantly better than drawing Bloodghast, so... Second Infest. Ooh, these are some nice old zombie tokens. Get back Squee. Uh, Upkeep. I don't care about the card I know about. Let's get back Loam. What's in bin? Oh, 3 lands? I'm so lucky. I probably just want to immediately do that. Don't really need to draw this, but my opponent's drawing Shredder. The fetch can mess some stuff up. This is better to use because that can get the Wood of Foothills can get Temple Garden. So I know my opponent has the draw card land, they're drawing Codex Shredder. Pithing Needle doesn't really bother me. I'm I'm going to want to use Infest at least once on my opponent's end step. Probably exactly once. I think these lands are more important. The Foothills can go. I'm not too interested in thinning out my deck. The Ghost Quarter, probably containing Seagate Wreckage, is going to potentially be a thing. Though I guess not necessarily sure. I already have another Ghost Quarter, so I probably actually... let's see. I want to get... Red green? Don't need the other black. I do need a red. Don't need to do that. I'm drawing a land, so I'm going to just bin squee. I like binning the fetch so I have double... I have Ghost Quarters up. Yeah, that's fine. I think there's like a argument for doing things in a slightly different way, I guess. And that argument is based around... What was I going to say here? Yeah, I guess there's no reason to not Dredge Loam. I don't really want to draw that card. Oh, boy, this turn... This turn got bad for my opponent. So let's flashback the existing Grudge. Play the Grudge from hand. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Just to spite fizzle their ability. And attack for lethal. Next turn at least. What was my argument for using things the other way? I forgot. Self-mill. So they get to Infernal Tutor. That's fine. They aren't Hellbent. And if they go Hellbent, they can just get a bridge. Yeah, they need multiple cards to get out of this. The Infernal, yeah. So they tutor, they get Pyroclasm in theory. I then discard Squee Quarter. Kill Codex Shredder on end step. I get to Ghost Quarter. What did they... Oh, well, they don't show me. I'm so used to Storm where you just put your card on the table because you just cast it immediately and it's the next thing. Sure. You have decided not to die for a turn. I actually want to discard Loam to get another Bloodghast back next turn. And I want to hold on to this Grudge because I need it to kill Bridge over Shredder. I don't really care about that. So let's do this. This matchup does not seem exceptionally great for the top of the deck control deck. So I'm going to do that. I don't have a Dredge card in Graveyard, so I can't really get anywhere with Faithless Looting. I don't really like that plan. I'm much more interested in just having... what is that land? I don't know what this land is. I think it's Swamp. I'm getting it back. Much more interested in having Ancient Grudge double Ghost Quarter up with an opponent at 2 life. And I want to use Ghost Quarter after my opponent shreds themselves, but before they untap. If they don't shred themselves, then the Opal... Yeah, this is fine. So they shred themselves. They're going to draw another Wreckage. I want to Ghost Quarter the... Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have let them just draw the other Wreckage. I didn't want them to draw a card on their upkeep, but that doesn't save them at all. So that was a huge mistake, actually. I just gave my opponent a free draw. Sure. I don't. I mean, I still have them beat through that, so I'm not actually afraid of anything. Ancient Grudge, powerful magic card against that deck. Turns out that it's hard to control your opponent's top decks when they just dredge 6 or 3 cards a turn. If it doesn't matter to your opponent where their cards are at the start of the like at any point in the game, they could be any zone. You really have to fight on the wrong axis for Lantern. Let's see. My opponent had. No. Yeah, the wreckage just cost too much mana to activate. I should have just left it there. Just really like ghost quartering people. Cool. Well, that matchup seems like a pretty easy one. Though I guess, Lantern obviously can have the right cards. Surgical, there's a lot of obvious hate cards they can have, but the current lists of Lantern are not geared to beating grindy graveyard decks, unshockingly.